Good evening, everyone. We are going to start with the program today. Thank you for being here. Just as a friendly reminder, please silence your phones. I would like to thank also the presence of our esteemed individuals here present today, Ms. Beatrice Rangel, Ms. Natalia Crujeiras, David Webb, Maestro Eduardo Marturet, Dr. Alina Diaz-Blanco, Kimberly Ortiz, from Downtown Doral Charter Upper School. We are going to start with the ceremony, the award presenting ceremony for the My Migration Story Contest 2025. For the second year in a row, this contest has gathered standing students from the Miami-Dade community. This year, we had the pleasure to have 2 different schools participating. And thanks to the hard work of their teachers, in a total of 178 essays, we collected roughly 180,000 words that our jury had to read carefully to decide, of course. Each one of these takes us through the pains and rewards of migrating, as well as to the difficulties of inserting ourselves into a new country, regardless of how similar or different the culture is. The contest is a creation of distinguished Nobel laureate Vargas Llosa, when he visited Miami back in 2019. Today, the contest honors his life work and legacy. The International Foundation for Freedom would like to thank the contest supporters, which include the Miami-Dade Board of Public Schools, ELibro, the largest digital Spanish library in the world, as well as the Miami Herald, Argus Capital, and Meta Miami. The International Foundation for Freedom is also proudly thankful to the History Miami Museum for hosting this ceremony for the second year in a row, and more importantly, for making the winning essays part of the history of this great city. Now, I would like to give the floor to Natalia Crujeiras for the welcome remarks. Natalia Crujeiras, originally from Mexico, moved to Miami for a career in journalism, working at Univision, NBC Universal Media, and the United States Agency for Global Media. With a heartfelt belief that every person and community has a story, she went on to serve as the Director of Cultural Affairs at Miami-Dade College, where she oversaw cultural powerhouses like the Miami Book Fair and the Miami Film Festival. Ms. Crujeiras is the current CEO and Executive Director of History Miami Museum. Let us welcome Ms. Crujeiras with a round of applause.
Thank you, Michelle, and welcome to our panelists and members, and to everybody here, especially the young people we're celebrating today. At History Miami, we believe that every story has value and meaning. And for more than 86 years, we have been dedicated to collecting and sharing the stories of Miami to foster learning, inspire a sense of place, and cultivate an engaged community. And this is why we're so proud to support My Miami Migration Story, because this talks about the voices of those who live these stories and shape our today, which will be our future tomorrow. We're very grateful to celebrate the talent and perspectives of our young people, whose creativity, sensitivity, and clarity remind us that the future is written today. And I'm glad to share that the winning essays stand out for really exceptional, sophisticated voices for people that young, with vivid and controlled imagery, powerful intergenerational narratives, and a moral clarity that was really surprised, especially me, who has 2 teenagers. I was really blown away by the essays that we had the opportunity to evaluate. And we're very proud that the winning essays will be added to the museum's permanent collection, ensuring that their voices and perspectives continue to enrich our collective history. So it is a pleasure for us to welcome you to your History Museum. Muchas gracias por compartir sus historias. It takes a lot of trust and courage to share some of these stories that were really moving and inspiring. So thank you. It's a pleasure to welcome you here, and come back to your History Museum.
Thank you, Ms. Crujeiras. Now we are going to continue with the program with Ms. Beatrice Rangel to address the audience on behalf of the contest creator, the International Foundation for Freedom.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Well, we from the International Foundation for Freedom, which was chaired by Mario Vargas Llosa until last year, and now chaired by Alvaro Vargas Llosa, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to the 2 schools that participated this year, because truly you presented a group of essays that touched the hearts of our jury. I was present at the jury meetings, and it was really the most transforming time of my life, listening to the discussions that the jury had about the essays that had been written. All of them very valuable, but of course they have to choose, and they chose the best among a wonderful group of 180 plus essays. We would like to express our gratitude to the Miami-Dade Board of Public Schools, to the Downtown Doral Charter Schools, the International Studies Preparatory Academy, ELibro, Argos Capital, the Miami Herald, History Miami Museum, and Barceloneta for all their support. Without you, we wouldn't be here. And I would like to especially give thanks to Natalia Crujeiras, who from the first moment that we decided to bring this contest to Miami, she supported us. Thank you, Natalia. Without you, we wouldn't be here. Now, I would like you, our president, Alvaro Vargas Llosa, is going, unfortunately, due to the incredible bad weather we have had recently, his plane was unable to depart from Paris to Miami. And therefore, we don't have him here, but he has sent us a message that I would like to share with you. Thank you.
Good evening. First of all, let me apologize for not being able to address you in person today. For reasons totally beyond my control, I cannot join you physically at this important ceremony this year, but my heart and mind are with you, and especially with the young writers who have made the second edition of our contest, My Migration Story, such a terrific success. I'd like to thank Natalia Crujeiras, of course, and History Miami Museum for hosting us once again and for helping us perpetuate the poignant testimonies and the literary achievements that the winners' essays represent. I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to Miami-Dade County Public Schools, in particular to International Studies Preparatory Academy, as well as Downtown Dora Charter Elementary and Upper Schools, through their respective principals, Alina Diaz-Blanco and Jeannette Acevedo Isemberg, for their tremendous effort in encouraging and organizing the participation of so many talented students. Thank you to our other sponsors too, ELibro US and David Padilla, the Miami Herald and El Nuevo Herald, Meta Miami and Isabel Perez, and Argos Capital and Salomon Zaga. Thanks for sticking with us through thick and thin. Of course, the members of the jury, Mitch Maidique, Natalia Crujeiras, and David Webb, all of them important and busy people, deserve a special mention and recognition. You lend credibility and prestige to this contest. I'd like to say how grateful we all are to Maestro Eduardo Marturet, a symbol of so many high endeavors, and an immigrant himself, for honoring us on this occasion with his presence and his words. Last but not least, hats off to Beatrice Rangel, the heart and soul of this project from the very beginning. None of this would be happening without you, Beatrice. For the Foundation for International Freedom and Cátedra Vargas Llosa, which I have the honor of presiding, it is a matter of enormous pride that this contest has reached its second year and shows signs of continuing to grow. Those of us who know how hard it was to launch it, how many obstacles had to be surmounted, fully understand what it means for all of you to be here, and for Noah, Gabriela, Nicole, and Sophia to have come this far. Migration, and therefore immigration, are one of the noblest characteristics of human civilization. Don't ever let anyone belittle the contribution that the movement of human beings, of people like you and me, has made to the development of what is best about human society. Culture, that is institutions, rules, human rights, economic progress, the transition from a state of nature to civilization, from barbarism to a world pregnant with infinite possibility. Whenever I think of immigration, I like to think of two gods from Roman and Greek mythology. Janus, the Roman god, symbolized doorways, gates, passages. In other words, movement from one place to another, from one condition to another, but also change. Since movement and change are closely connected, he was represented with two heads. Well, all of you have talked about movement and change in your essays and delved into its significance. In so doing, you have gone back thousands of years in history and evoked, without meaning to perhaps, the image of Janus presiding over your migrant stories. And then there is Hermes, the Greek god who was the patron of merchants and travelers. Well, he was also the god of thieves, but we will obviate this small detail for now. Because exchanging goods and traveling in order to meet foreigners with whom those exchanges could take place contributed so much to the emergence and expansion of culture, Hermes is another name that your essays bring to the reader's mind. Because you, travelers yourselves, have made and will continue to make South Florida the cultural powerhouse that it has become and will continue to be. Finally, I want to address our four winners. Sophia Elvies, I loved your moving essay and your assertion as someone of Venezuelan origin that immigration is the foundation of your life, as well as your way of describing that unique sense of belonging that is always half here and half somewhere else. Yes, I have experienced that same feeling many times. But you know what? That is not a disadvantage in life. On the contrary, those different belongings within you have made you who you are. They have informed your personality and enriched you in ways that perhaps not even you can recognize today, but will translate into major achievements on your part in the future. Nicole Aguiar, you are so right. Your Cuban parents' immigration story is a love story. And yes, their relationship with their community and with other immigrants embody the beauty of life. With these assertions, you not only turn a dramatic story of sacrifice and suffering into a celebration of life, you also point to the uniqueness of everyone's migration story. Every migration story is a burning, passionate, lasting love story. Gabriela, you took from your family's tragic Colombian experience and your insertion in American society two important lessons. First, that one has to learn to mix both cultures, the traditions and culture you come from, and the customs of the country that adopts you. This notion is not unrelated to what I just mentioned when I addressed Sophia's essay. Every community, every society, every country is the result of a constant, dynamic, evolving mixture and integration of different ways of doing things and of looking at things. You have discovered then, in your experience and through your writing, one of the secrets of human evolution. Bravo. Finally, Noah Menjiver, congratulations on being the proud winner of the 2025 contest. Life is a sprint away from death, you say in your beautifully written text, in reference to your Salvadorian family's miraculous escape from an act of unspeakable violence. Sprinting away from death to embrace life, isn't that a wonderful description of what immigration really means? Refusing to accept that no options are open to you. refusing to surrender to forces that may seem at some point beyond your ability to confront them, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. In one word, surviving is the story of every immigrant in one way or the other. You also assert, I am the last breath they fought for, in reference to your great-grandmother's and your grandfather's struggle, without which you would not be here today. That is also, Noah, the story of immigration. One generation leads to the next, and one day, thanks to your forebears, you're a full member of the adopted community or society. The memory of what came before you will inspire you to do great things, and one day, your descendants will say about you, for different reasons, what you say today about your forebears. And thus the cycle of immigration will have closed for your family. Once again, a million thanks to all of you for making my migration story such a literary triumph, and congratulations to our extraordinary winners.
Thank you to Alvaro Vargas Llosa, President of the International Foundation for Freedom, for these inspiring words, and thank you to Ms. Rangel for this particular assistance, as well as all the work she does behind the scenes to make things happen here and beyond. We also want to acknowledge the arrival just in time of Dr. Modesto Maidique for his intervention giving the next section of the program. The jury's perspective. The selection process was rough and demanding for the jury, chaired by distinguished Dr. Modesto Maidique and integrated by Natalia Crujeiras and David Webb. Before moving forward with the next section, however, I would like to formally introduce David Webb. Mr. Webb has been entertaining. Well, okay. Apologize for the confusion. Now to describe the decision-making process and present the views from this year's jury, we call on Dr. Modesto Maidique. Dr. Maidique is PhD in electrical engineering, a business person and educator. He was the fourth president of Florida International University, whose main campus is named after him. Welcome, Dr. Maidique, and thank you for your unwavering support to this contest. Let us recognize his leadership with a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I am honored to be here, and frankly, I'm a little jealous. I thought of myself at age 15. I couldn't write what you guys wrote. You know, I was blown away, literally, by all of you, but particularly by Noah. I have a dinner every Tuesday with 7 very distinguished people. They're either senators, PhDs, professors, and I read the article. Couldn't read them all. I read Noah's article to them, and right there in the table, they applauded. I said, it's not for me, this is a young man that just did an incredible job. And not only was it well written, I mean, my son was a good writer at that age, but the feeling, the ability to communicate, I compare it to, I took a writing course when I was about 23, 24, and for a brief moment in my life, I thought I might be a writer. And I took it with C. Michael Curtis, who was the editor of The Atlantic. And he told me, you have the power to evoke feeling. And I thought of Noah. And then he said to me, but you have nothing to say. So at that point, I said, maybe I should look elsewhere for my future career. Remarkable group of, and I don't know if you know that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was 167. How many? Silly? 178. Okay, probably a few came in while I was looking the other way. So I am proud to be here, and I congratulate you. I think that, as Vargas Llosa said earlier, writing is one of the things that makes us humans. It's one of the things that, there are many, many species on Earth millions of years ago, and somehow we're from different places, but we're all Homo sapiens, and Homo sapiens prevailed. And the ability to communicate and the ability to coordinate was what made us the supreme species. And that is what we are celebrating today. So congratulations to you, and I don't know how many parents are here, but this doesn't happen without the support, the encouragement, of the parents. I know when I was 15, 16 in Cuba, my mother, who maybe could see the future, told me, the only thing that is portable is your knowledge. Yes, we have huge sugarcane plantations, apartments, mansions. This could go away, but won't go away. And everything did go away, other than what I had in my mind. That's true for all of you. So thanks to your parents for making this possible. And now, well, you'll introduce, who's introducing the next person? Okay. Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Maidique. And now we are going to start with the representative from Doral, Downtown Doral Charter Upper School, Kimberly Ortiz, on behalf of Jeannette Acevedo Isemberg, to give the experience from this school participation this year.
Good evening. On behalf of Downtown Doral Charter Upper School, our head of schools, Ms. Acevedo Isemberg, and our faculty and staff, I would like to sincerely thank you all for giving our school and our 9th grade students the opportunity to participate in the My Migration Story contest. This experience allowed over 100 of our students to reflect deeply on their personal journeys, their families' histories, and the sacrifices that have shaped who they are today. Through this project, our students were able to strengthen their writing skills while also developing empathy, cultural awareness, and a deeper understanding of the immigration experience. It provided them with a meaningful platform to express their voices and to see the value of their stories. We truly appreciate your commitment to uplifting student voices, creating opportunities that connect education with real-life experiences. Initiatives like this inspire our students to take pride in their identities and to engage more thoughtfully with their communities. We sincerely thank you for your time, your support, and for including Downtown Doral Charter Upper School in this meaningful and impactful opportunity, and we take the time to also thank Sophia. Thank you, gracias, obrigada, and go Dolphins.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz, and thank you to Downtown Doral Charter Upper School for the participation this year. Now we are going to give the floor to Director of the International Studies Preparatory Academy, ISPA, Dr. Alina Diaz-Blanco, to give us a perspective from her school. Thank you.
Good evening, distinguished guests, members of the jury, representatives of the Cátedra Vargas Llosa, colleagues, families, and most importantly, my students. It is truly an honor to be with you this evening. I would like to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the Cátedra Vargas Llosa for creating My Migration Story, a space where young voices are not only heard, but celebrated. In a world that often rushes past stories, this initiative reminds us that stories, especially migration stories, matter. At ISPA, we don't just teach content, we honor identity. The ISPA experience is rooted in language, culture, and belonging. Many of our students come from families whose journeys span countries, generations, and sacrifices. Their stories live in their homes, in their traditions, in the courage it took for their families to begin again. What makes ISPA special is that we create a space for those stories. We encourage students to write them and proudly claim them. Through opportunities like My Migration Story, our students learn that their voices matter and that their experiences are not something to hide, but something to honor. Tonight's recognition reflects exactly who our students are: thoughtful, reflective, bilingual, bicultural, and brave. They remind us that migration is not just about movement. It is about resilience, hope, and the pursuit of opportunity. Before concluding, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the organizers and partners who made this possible. Thank you to Ms. Beatrice, Rangel, to the sponsors, ELibro, Argus Capital, the Miami Herald, History Miami Museum. Your commitment to education, culture, and storytelling allows moments like tonight to exist. I also want to give a big thank you to Ana Rodriguez, last year's winner and the student ambassador for My Migration Story. Thank you, Ana, for being here today. On behalf of ISPA, thank you for believing in our students and creating spaces where their stories can truly shine. Congratulations to all of the honorees, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of this wonderful celebration. Congratulations to my babies.
Thank you, Dr. Diaz-Blanco, for the participation for the second year in a row. Now we are moving forward with the section Miami as Launching Board for Dreams. We now come to the most inspiring part of our program. Maestro Eduardo Marturet, director of Miami Symphony, will address the winners with his thoughts on how Miami can be the launching board of everybody's dreams. Maestro Marturet is also an active visiting conductor in an extensive list of European orchestras in countries like Germany, Italy, Denmark, Belgium, Czechia, Hungary, and the Netherlands. Let us welcome Maestro Marturet with a round of applause.
Thank you. Good evening. What a fantastic moment to be conscious of what we are and where we're going. Me being an artist and receiving constant applause on the stage, I'm very conscious and aware of what it means when you're young and you need recognition. What you're doing with this young students is just fabulous, really. I remember when I was a student and wasn't sure of what I was going to do. It meant a great deal when somehow I was open to a vision of the future thanks to recognition of certain kind of value in my activities that I had. Of course, schools are doing that all the time, I know. Of course they do, by grades and all the things. But when something gets out of the box somehow, like is happening now, is very, very special. Reading the essays, the stories, I don't want to repeat myself or yourself because it's been said so beautifully, but it's very emotional. Like I'd love to even write a symphony for these kids because it's so special. And Miami, as launching board is saying, is definitely the place for all of us. When I decided to accept this position of Miami Symphony Orchestra 20 years ago, I was never aware that Miami could be a place to work. It was my tourist space. I owned a property to come for vacation. I never ever thought I could work here. I work all over the world. My career was spanning, and suddenly, when I accepted it, wow, it took me 20 years to be here. And I tell you what, I would never change it for anything. I've been offered jobs in other places. No. In terms of orchestra and city, I'm monogamous. So thank you so much. I'm very honored, and we should keep doing this all the time. It's fantastic for the young students. Bravo. Thank you.
And with these enlightening words from Maestro Marturet, now we move forward with the recognition to the winning schools and teachers. Please, Ms. Isabel Perez and Mr. Salomon Zaga come forward to present the winning school with its award, as well as the coaching teacher for this year. And now call as well as Dr. Diaz-Blanco and Maria Belén Sanchez to approach the stage. Belén. Thank you, Isabella Salomon, and congratulations to ISPA. Now we call on Natalia Crujeiras to give forward the first prize of the night. Sophia Elvies and Nicole Aguiar, co-winners of the third place. Nicole's essay takes us to the dangers and the pains of her family went through to leave everything behind in Cuba in order to gain freedom. Meanwhile, Sophia describes the incredible journey full of sacrifices and courage to escape tyranny in Venezuela. Thank you, Nicole, for sharing your stories. You can come forward in the podium. Now I would like to introduce properly David Webb, who will give forward the second place of the night. Mr. Webb has been in entertaining and informing the public for more than 3 decades, from music to talk radio in Boston, Houston, Dallas, New York City, syndication, and now satellite radio and television. Currently, David hosts the David Webb Show on Sirius XM Patriot 125 with breaking news, analysis, and commentary. He is a Fox News contributor, Fox Nation host, and columnist at the Hill newspaper. We would like to welcome now the second place winner, Gabriela Alcala, to the podium, please. Gabriela describes a journey from Colombia to the United States full of fear as her grandparents' farm was burned down by armed men. Relatives and friends disappear, and the challenges of adapting to a new reality and country. It's a story of hard work, dedication to overcome difficult times, and find a new way to build a future. Thank you, and congratulations. And now we approach the most precious moment of our program, the award presentation of this year's first place winner, Noah Menjiver. But before we move forward, we would like to show a video made by Isabel Perez narrating the history that Noah tried to give us through the essay.
I am the final line of a story that began with a bomb. My existence is the culmination of a secret loan, a shattered bus, and a cleaver held by the hands of a scholar. My father's life almost ended on a Saturday morning in 1979. The air in El Salvador was thick with heat and wood smoke. My grandfather, my grandmother, her body a vessel for my unborn father and his 2 young daughters, squeezed onto a crowded bus. The vinyl seats were hot, the engine groaned, and the scent of warm pupusas mixed with the scent of diesel fumes. This weekly trip was their family tradition, in a country being devoured by a civil war. That year, the Bloque Popular Revolucionario had begun its violent campaign, seizing churches and bombing public places to paralyze the nation with fear. Suddenly, the bus jerked to a stop. The doors hissed open to reveal armed guerrillas. The comfortable morning sounds were replaced by sharp, terrified breaths and the words that would redefine our future. They are going to bomb the bus. My grandfather did not hesitate. In a single, fluid motion born of instinct, he grabbed his daughters. His hand locked onto my grandmother's, their grip an anchor, and he pulled them through the screaming chaos toward the light at the back. They spilled onto the dusty road, gravel sharp under their feet, and ran. They did not stop as the world behind them erupted into a fireball, their tradition erupting into a fireball of shrapnel. They ran up the mountain, my father's heart beating a frantic, like a drum against his mother's ribs. His first lesson was that life is a sprint away from death. That run was the final argument. To save them, my great-grandmother Luisa walked into a bank in 1983. The cool, quiet air contrasted with the chaos they fled. She placed a loan against her house, the papers signing away her security for 5 plane tickets to Miami. She gambled her past for their future. In Miami, another matriarch was building the foundation. My great-grandmother, her hands roughened from cleaning rooms at the El Carillon Hotel, her body tired from double shifts and studying hairstyling. She wove a safety net with her exhaustion. She filed the papers, secured an apartment, and found my grandfather a job. He arrived on a Friday, the scholar from the University of El Salvador. By Monday, he stood in the refrigerated air of Sedano's. A butcher's cleaver, heavy and cold, was placed in his hands. The man of numbers now earned $3.20 an hour. His net pay was $512 every 2 weeks to feed 5 souls. He would look at that number and quietly bury the dreamer inside himself forever. His silence was the price of their future. This is what shaped my father. He saw the cleaver in his father's scholar's hands. He felt the absence of his sister, lost to kidney failure, a sorrow no change of country could cure. He learned that love is a silent, brutal, and beautiful sacrifice that spans generations. The boy who learned that lesson now builds a secure world as a cybersecurity engineer. His success is not just his own, it is his family's final, flourishing return. It is the answer to a question his father never asked. When I look at my life, I see the bomb, I see the cleaver, I see 2 great-grandmothers, one who gambled on her home, the other who built a new one from sweat and will. I am the last breath they fought for, and I will make it count.
Now, Dr. Maidique and Noah, if you please could approach the center stage. Noah's essay was titled "The Price of a Breath." This descriptive and engaging story takes us through the horrors inflicted on a regular Salvadorian people by a civil war and the troubles that mark a family migration to the U.S. Thanks to the incredible sacrifices made by 2 grandmothers, he is and I quote, "the last breath they fought for." and he has promised to make it count. Thank you, Noah, and congratulations again. And now to close this wonderful night, we would like to give the floor to Mr. David Webb for some closing remarks. And before that, I would like to close myself by giving thanks once again to History Miami Museum and Natalia Crujeiras for her unwavering support to make this contest a reality as well. Thank you.
I'll repeat the words that I just said, well done. There are a lot of words that could be said. You've written, all of the contestants, amazing essays, and it took time. It also reminded me of something that I share sometimes publicly, that I come from immigrant families, one that came to the United States in 1631. We still have the same cemetery in upstate New York. That's a legacy. I am born in Jamaica, an immigrant family that went to Jamaica as part of the Commonwealth, and I am an immigrant to the United States. And that track of my family, which I know, I hear in your stories because you're continuing that track. Those stories, as someone said earlier, are important. As human beings, we communicate, we speak, we share, we write, and we maintain our history. And that is the way we continue to become a better society. A great writer once said, Samuel Huntington, anyone can become an American. It's something unique about this country that anyone from anywhere can come here and become an American. You can emigrate to France, to Spain, to Greece, somewhere in Africa. You can emigrate to anywhere. But you can become an American from anywhere. You cannot become a Frenchman. You can go there and become a French citizen. This country is a rich tapestry because of so many who have come here from different backgrounds of strife, some from backgrounds of wealth, but all across the spectrum that exists in our society. And the great thing is, not only can you come here and take your chance at opportunity, the American dream and your dream, whatever that dream may be, but you can share that with others and you can give. And knowledge, as you said earlier, cannot be taken from you. It is the one thing that you own. The pride in your family can never be taken from you. And I want to see this continue. When Beatrice asked me to be a part of this, I said yes, because one, if Beatrice asks, I say yes. But then I began to read, and I began to remember the stories of my family written in different ways. One member is on the $10 bill in Jamaica. We're part of the legacy with George Washington at Valley Forge. And then I realized that I needed to remember more of my family's legacy. So because of this contest, I actually began to learn more about my family. So you've inspired me to learn more, remember that history, and share it. And if we all do that, and we are doing that, share it with everyone, to the museum for making sure that this is permanent, that these stories are not just lost, but they are shared. It's all part of the rich tapestry of this country. So thank you for inspiring me, for my fellow jurors, for all of you, for our sponsors, thank you. And your stories will go much further than your families.
Thank you, thank you. Before you all enjoy the refreshments, I would like to welcome you all and the students to come forward to take the final picture, as well as Miss Beatrice Rangel, please.